Try not to think of it in terms of right and wrong.
People think in terms of good and evil.
In terms of the human relationships, the juxtaposition.
Now, in terms of your investments.
Shit! Briefcase open. I have to go in.
In terms of his cooperation.
Well, I was thinking a little stronger than that. I was thinking in terms of...
I can't see it in terms of anything but my son.
In terms of our work.
But also in terms of the applied advanced defense mechanism.
In terms of marital property, there's...
Try not to think of it in terms of right and wrong. She is a guide, Neil. She can help you to...
Life, eternal life. People think in terms of good and evil when really time is the true enemy of us all. Time kills.
With or without my wife, in terms of the human relationships, the juxtaposition of one person to another, the form.
God, even when you guys are nasty, it sounds polite.
Now, in terms of your investments.
Shit! Briefcase open. I have to go in.
Everything we discussed so far.
Excuse me.
I would agree that Mr. Belford has distinguished himself in terms of his cooperation. Mr. Belford has helped the government win convictions of over 24.
Like me saying hello to somebody? Well, I was thinking a little stronger than that. I was thinking in terms of maybe you talking to the prosecutor up there and having him drop a...
I don't see it that way. I can't see it in terms of anything but my son.
Elizabeth, don't...
When you factor in the benefits to the defense industry in terms of what we learned here about pilot performance under simulated warfare...
Come on, buddy.
You can see that we have...
And, well, there'll be sacrifices to be made in terms of our workforce.
He's talking about me.
Yes, I think he probably is.
Obsessive behavior in terms not only of the killing itself, but also in terms of the applied advanced defense mechanism.
You know, sometimes I can't tell shit from...
What you want. And is her request reasonable and equitable? In terms of marital property, there's house, car, savings and checking accounts, insurance.
All the way from El Paso on a job that any ordinary investigator could have done. This must mean, in terms of numbers, that he's no better off than we are.
Yeah, I know that there are two different countries. I was talking about in terms of interior design. You hold on 1 second.
Counselor, I strongly recommend you walk a straight line in terms of your defense. Anything you state in this courtroom will be evaluated.
Seriously, what do you think of me as, in terms of just leadership potential?
That made it all the more compelling for us to make sure that we did everything right in terms of establishing who he was and getting him back to his family.
In its geography, it is warfare in terms of every continent, every island, every sea.
No God. There can be no God. It's ridiculous to think in terms of a superior being and inferior being, maybe.
How do you mean? In terms of longitudinal and cross veins and how they vary in relation to others.
Been all day.
You're angry, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
The love impulse in man frequently reveals itself in terms of conflict.
Excuse me, the what impulse?
Love impulse.
Yeah.
Now, you see, the trouble...
Limo driver handed him a subpoena, asked him if anything was going on in the back seat, so, in terms of cleaning up this...
Were you listening at the door?
I wasn't listening at the door.
Were you...
Ideals, and not to measure your life by what you've attained in terms of your desires, but those small moments of integrity.
It would be a very big story. Does that sound right to you in terms of scale?
No, not really, Robbie.
The disbursement of money in terms of the number of people that were involved, just how many?
Oceans, even their cities are our cities.
And where are we in terms of communication?
That's exactly my point. If this planet is sustaining an
examination of contemporary society in terms of the Greek philosophy, which defines the whole.
Best link, you two share compatibility in terms of gender, body size, and your synaptic maps.
What happens after the 8 minutes?
After.
I don't interest myself in why. I think more often in terms of when. Sometimes where. Always how much.
Like has no business in a rail yard. What are we worried about in terms of cargo?
Well, obviously, the diesel fuel's a concern.
No, I said...
Back to survival of the fittest, I suppose.
What is that in terms of food, then? 500 calories?
I don't know. A few slices of...
The lack of any real information coming from Washington,
chance the deliverance mission itself is no surprise.
You're just a little mixed up about things in general. Nobody thinks in terms of human beings. Governments don't. Why should we? They talk about the people.
If you want to find the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. Okay.
Possible to identify the cause. Now, in terms of scheduling...
That's nothing.
I'm sorry, Dr. Feynman?
Well, it's too early to say, but it looks as if he is deteriorating steadily in terms of his hearing loss. Yes. Train.
In terms of, it's hard, I imagine, to...
How much?
What was the description?
Mostly positive in terms of appearance, negative only in terms of character. I've been told to avoid you.
You're engaged in now, in terms of purpose and so forth.
Certainly.
Okay. People who run ball clubs, they think in terms of buying players. Your goal shouldn't be to buy players.
You are an old man who thinks in terms of nations and peoples. There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no...
That would have someone like me for a member. That's the key joke of my adult life in terms of my relationships with women. You know, lately the strangest things have been going through my mind.
And, well, you know, you let me know what you want to do in terms of work. You can if you want to. No one's going to pressure you about writing.
Just so I understand, what exactly does your title mean in terms of our plague?
We prefer not to use negative terms. It only scares.
I don't think he realizes.
Oh, no, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Dad, in terms of your estate, I don't want you making mistakes that can be avoided.
And they will be my mistake.
I fall short in terms of resume. I apparently far exceed the rest in terms of honesty. I didn't lie to get this appointment, sir.